Okay. You're supposed to clap. Well, you don't have to, but
I want to.
It just syncs it up. Okay. So I'm here with my first guest ever, DJ Morse. So he's at least a regionally known car salesman, and you probably know him from a lot of other things too. But if you haven't bought a car from him, someone you know probably has. So I just wanted to tell you thanks for doing this with me and let me interview you.
Absolutely. You know, it's the first time I've ever done anything like this too. So hey, it's a double first. So
Cool.
That'll work good.
So sweet. I just wanted to talk to you about just some general stuff about you and some stuff you've been involved with over the years. So maybe the first thing we can talk about is you have your Camaro here behind us.
This car was in the neighborhood, was bought brand new at Romans, and I used to admire it from 3 houses down on Velma Drive. Okay. And I used to try to buy it from the lady that bought it new, and so she enjoyed driving it too much. So finally she got to the point where she was ready to trade it in. She brought it in to trade at Pearl, and I almost had her to trade, but she backed out. Oh, she wanted a third-gen Camaro with low mileage, had to be black, need to be a T-top, low miles. And I thought, it'll never happen. You know, well, 3 weeks later, I traded for a black 8,000-mile T-top. So she brought it in, and I traded for it, and so that's how I got the car. And when I brought it home, it had vacuum leaks and wore-out clutch and wouldn't spin the tires in first gear. But a few plugs of the vacuum leaks and the new clutch, and it was fun to drive by Monday morning. So anyway, that was back in '92.
Cool. Yeah. So how did you get into car sales?
Well, you know, I guess I don't know that I got into car sales it's almost by default. As a youngster, me and my brothers, we used to sit around and make believe that we were driving certain cars. So it was always in the blood. But I had gotten laid off at Halliburton Services back in '82. And it just seemed to be the right thing. Larry Allen had put an ad in a newspaper, and I answered it. And basically he hired me, but then instead of going to work there, I ended up going to work at Coffeyville Motors for the Biney brothers. So I think you're kind of familiar with the Biney brothers.
Yep, we know them. So I worked for Bob. My dad worked for Bob. So
right.
Yeah. The Coffeyville connection runs deep there.
Yeah, and I worked for Bob and Bill there, and then Bob went to Republic, Missouri, and then I worked for Bob over there. So anyway, that's kind of what got me into selling cars. And then while I was there, I ended up getting a call from Pearl Chevrolet, and they offered me salary plus commission. So I moved back and been here ever since. Yeah. Worked for Pearl for 17 years. So yeah, it was a good stint. Worked out well for everybody, I think. So I was able to coach my daughters and sons' basketball, baseball, and softball teams during that time. So it was a good deal. Really worked out well.
Salary plus commission is pretty rare in car sales, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
And old Pearl Schmid was old school, so that's what they were offering, and it worked out well.
What kind of advice would you have to give, in your young old age, I guess, which you're not old yet, but you've been around longer than some other people. So what kind of advice would you give people on just anything?
Oh, well, if we're talking about the purchase of cars, that's a tough call. You really need to find somebody that you know when it comes to buying a car is the best thing there, or find somebody that's had a good experience someplace, But I don't know. I think that Sid Morris that I worked with for a long time, he gave good advice as far as he said, be good to yourself. Mm-hmm. And that goes really deep when you think about it. Like, there's a lot of ways to be good to yourself.
Right.
And it doesn't mean overindulging in things. So, I think that's probably as good advice as anybody can get.
Right. Just moderation, everything. And you're kind of spearheading something. You're putting together a car show.
We are. I lost my son, Jacob Morse, 4 years ago in a four-wheeler accident. And we had talked even back then about maybe putting on a car show and a memorial and maybe a scholarship fund. And, well, kind of tough to make decisions and do things. And now that we've had a chance to kind of get our emotions intact, we've decided that it'd be a good time to do that. And just so happened that Kelly, my significant other, she is teaching at the college now in the tech program, which Jacob was a graduate of the welding school program through the Caney High School. And that's probably one of the best things that ever happened to him. So that in mind, we wanted to get a scholarship program going with his name on it we're going to raise the money through the car show. It's going to be September 23rd, and it's going to be a not your ordinary car show because Jacob wasn't your ordinary kind of guy. So we're going to look hoping to get some hatchbacks, some station wagons, and some unique odd rods, rat rods, and hot rods and street rods, a nice variety of all. And we're going to try to give some trophies that are kind of unique too, along with the regular ones too. And we've got some nice giveaways. And so anyway, we're really looking forward to that and hope we get some people turn out and get this scholarship endowed in Jacob's name.
Well, that'll be awesome. So hopefully you have a good turnout and all that. And then you're going to have some games going on too during the car shows.
We are. We're going to have cornhole going on, and then we're going to try to get some side things going on, maybe with some trivia and maybe some spare tire rolling and some creeper racing, some of that kind of stuff. So we're looking forward to doing things a little different and keeping people involved rather than just sitting around and not knowing what to do next. And
so it'll be fun. It'll be for a good cause and all that, and be a chance for the community to kind of get out and hang out.
And hopefully, unlike today, it'll be a little nicer weather, a little cooler. September 23rd, we think it maybe be a good time of year for that. So we're hoping it'll be a good day. Right there at Nellis Hall, right in front of the parking lot. So it'll be easy access and high visibility, and hope to get a lot of people involved.
And if anybody needs anything, they're right across the street from Parts Store. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So if they break down and can't get home, Parts Stores are close by.
Well, to close out, I'd like to thank you, Uncle DJ, and thank you for owning that title.
Well, thank you for letting me be your adopted uncle. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I really do.
September 23rd, 8 a.m. at Nellis Hall Gymnasium, across the street from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Be there. It'll go from 8 a.m. or until the fun ends.
You got it.
Yep. Thank you.